Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you today, this beautiful day, for our Veterans Ceremony here in the village of Fishkill. And to get started, the village cadets will present the colors. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. This is one of our most important traditional ceremonies that we do here in the village of Fishkill. It's so important for us to recognize our veterans and the families that support them, not only today, but every day of the year. I'd like to just welcome everyone and also thank a few people before we get started. I want to thank the town of Fishkill Police Cadets for being here today and helping us with our ceremony. Also, we'd like to thank the Village of Fishkill Police Department for always helping us with all of our ceremonies today and everything they do for us every day of the year. We'd like to recognize and thank our staff at Village Hall, our water and sewer, DPW guys for setting everything up for us, our treasurer, Stephanie, our clerk, Pam. Thank you to all of them for all the work they do to put these events together for us. Thank you also to our activities committee and the chairperson, Julie Spann. Also, I wanted to thank Pastor Dan Levine for being here with us today. He's the pastor of the Fishkill Methodist Church. I'd like to thank Cullen Lyons, Director of Communications for the Hudson Valley Veterans Administration at Castle Point. I'd like to thank Virgil Capillari from the Fishkill Veterans Association and also a Wappinger School Board trustee. Thank you to Becky Tompkins, our Town of Fishkill Town Clerk, and her deputy Cooper Leatherwood for being here with us today. Thank you to Fishkill Town Board members Greg Totino and Brian Rye for joining us. Thank you, Judge Ray Raish from the Town of Fishkill for being here with us today. Oh, and also Town Supervisor of the Town of Fishkill, Ozzy Albert's with us here today. Welcome, Ozzy. I'd like to also welcome and say hello to former City of Beacon Councilman and New York resident and New York Marine, Fred Anilek. Also, we'd like to recognize Carmine Istvan, Fishkill Highway Superintendent. Senator Rollison's Representative Giselle is here with us today. Former Mayor of the Village of Fishkill, Jim Michio's here with us today. And also Village Trustees Anthony Ruggiero and Nick Forlano. I think I got everyone. So thank you for being here. I'm Kathy Martin. I'm the Mayor of the Village of Fishkill, and I'm happy to be here to celebrate with you today. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Brendan Sohan to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brendan. He is spectacular. So, we have a special speaker here with us today. Cullen Lyons was 13 when the world changed on September 11th. Cullen knew immediately that he wanted to be a part of the solution. In 2007, his daughter Ella was born, and he became a young single dad and was even more determined to make a difference. 2 years later, he enlisted in the Army National Guard. Then, after completing U.S. Army Infantry School in Fort Benning, Georgia, Cullen was assigned to a detachment of the 1st Battalion, 69th Infantry in Leeds, New York. In 2011, Cullen's detachment became part of the 2nd Battalion for the 108th Infantry and immediately began to prepare for deployment. In 2012, his unit was deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. While there, he was an automatic rifleman and earned a combat infantryman badge for personally fighting in above-ground combat. In 2013, Cullen was promoted to sergeant, and he enrolled in Mount St. Mary's College across the river from Beacon, where he grew up and raised his daughter. He worked as a supervisor for a construction company while he continued to serve in the Army National Guard and finished his college education. In 2015, Cullen graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management and administration and started working for a local nonprofit healthcare organization. He worked for Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney as the Director of Veterans and Military Advocacy, as the Public Affairs Officer for the Veterans Administration, Hudson Valley Healthcare System, and currently serves as the Chief of Communications Officer for the New York and New Jersey Veterans Administration Healthcare Network. Cullen now lives in Fishkill with his daughter Ella, who is a senior in high school. He continues to serve others through his involvement in many organizations throughout our community, and he is determined to leave the world a little bit better than he found it. Will you all please join me in welcoming Cullen Lyons, our speaker for today.
Good morning. Today, we gather to pay tribute to those who have served our country with unwavering commitment, courage, and dedication. We celebrate veterans, individuals who have given so much of themselves to uphold the values that define us as Americans. In the Army, I learned early on about loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These are the Army values. Values instilled in every Army recruit from day one. Values that set the foundation for all we do. As someone who went through basic training, I can tell you that these values were some of the first things we learned. And we learned them, if not for personal growth, then to keep the drill sergeants off our radar. I've always felt that selfless service was at the foundation of these values. It's about putting the welfare of the nation, our comrades, and even strangers above our own. Anyone who serves in the military understands this concept deeply. They serve not for fame, not for glory, but because they feel a responsibility to something bigger than themselves. The greatest example of selfless service for my time in the military was on July 13th, 2012, my 24th birthday. As we sat down for lunch in a small outpost in rural Afghanistan, a lieutenant burst in the chow hall asking for people to go on a mission to resupply and replace some of our fellow soldiers in a valley that was riddled with IEDs and enemy fighters. Everyone in that small chow hall stopped eating lunch, stood up, and followed the lieutenant out the door to see what they could do to help. Knowing I had experience in this valley and a close bond with the soldiers trapped there, the lieutenant assigned me to drive the lead truck in the convoy, something I had done on every mission thus far. Immediately, my roommate and eventual best friend stopped the lieutenant and asked if he could drive the lead truck because today was my birthday. The lieutenant agreed and we set off. As we entered the valley, we crested a hill just big enough to where we couldn't see the other side. What I saw next was something I could still replay in my mind today. An explosion followed by smoke and pieces of my roommate's truck flying through the air. Everyone in that truck survived, but they still live today with the aftermath of what they experienced, whether physical or mental. Everyone in that truck wouldn't go back and change what happened on that day if they could. So as you leave here today, on this Veterans Day, I ask one thing. Do something for someone else. Someone you may not know, someone who may never be able to repay you. In doing so, you'll help carry forward the ideals that bind us together as Americans. Whether it's reaching out to a veteran or simply extending a helping hand to a stranger, your act of selflessness will honor our veterans' service in a way that words alone cannot. Thank you, and may we continue to honor those who have served by lifting each other up every chance we get.
Thank you, Colin. It is important today to remember all of the families that support our veterans as well. I know several of my friends have sons that have been deployed recently, and the holidays are coming, and it's important to keep them in our prayers and our thoughts. And like Colin just said, to try to be kind to each other, try to be supportive, because there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we can use a little kindness. So thank you, Colin. Right now, I'd like to ask our police cadets to present the wreath. Thank you. And I'd like to bring up Pastor Dan Levine for an invocation for us.
pray. Creator God, we are grateful for the beauty of this day where we can honor those who have committed to laying down their lives if necessary for our safety and for our freedom. We ask that each of us gathered here today might remember that our ability to gather in this way was not free at all. Those who have served and have come back bear scars, both emotional, spiritual, and physical. They have seen and done things that we who have not served could never imagine. And they have seen their friends lay down their lives. We ask you to remind us who come and celebrate and honor their sacrifice, their selflessness, that we might remember not just this day but always that our freedom was bought with their lives, the years that they served, the friends that they lost. Remind us always to remember and serve those in our community so that we can honor the sacrifice that was made so that we might be here. Be with us this day and always as we remember and as we seek to honor the sacrifice that brought us here today. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
One more thing I did want to mention before we get ready to close is I just wanted to acknowledge the Hometown Heroes banner program that we started this year in the village of Fishkill. We're so happy with the way it came out, the way that we're able to, drive down the road and see all the banners and the way they blend right in with the town's banners. So if anybody is interested in ever getting a banner for their family member or themselves or anyone they know, please look at our website for the Village of Fishkill. We're happy to help you, but we're so happy that we were able to take advantage of that program this year and honor our veterans and their families. At this time, I'd like to bring Brendan Sohan up for another song, so thank you, Brendan.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you.
Let's have another hand of applause for Brendan. He's amazing. Thank you. And I just wanted to bring Joe Shuka up. This is unplanned, but I'd like him to maybe come up and talk about an initiative he's doing for veterans here in Fishkill. So if you'll just give us one more moment of your time. This is a pretty important program, and I hate to put you on the spot, Joe, but here you go.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you for being able to be here today to honor those veterans, past and present. Thank you to those veterans. Thank you for your service and for the freedoms that we have. As Kathy mentioned, firstly, I'm a funeral director at Libby Funeral Home in Beacon, just a neighboring town over. And for the last 3 years, we've been doing a Wreaths Across America event at the Fishkill Rural Cemetery, in which we lay holiday Christmas wreaths on the veteran sections of the cemetery. And last year, we were able to cover both of the sections, which have over 600 graves in them. And you know, the veteran is very important to me, and as long as I'm around, I hope to continue this program at the Fishkill Rural Cemetery. It is truly an honor to honor those that have passed and continue to remember them. So this year the event is scheduled for Saturday, December 14th at 2 p.m. We meet at 2 p.m. for a little ceremony, and then immediately after the ceremony, everyone takes part in a communal laying of the wreaths as you walk through the rows of the graves and you lay the wreath and you remember that veteran. And I invite you to come out that day and do that. And you know, we can't have the event without the support, the local support of the community. And there are flyers at the village hall and the town hall. You can contact the funeral home, Libby Funeral Home, and we can get you what you need to support and sponsor a holiday wreath. They're only $17, and there are different levels, different packages that you can choose if you want to give more. And I know Kathy has donated one, and I can't thank everyone enough for their support over the last 3 years. So if you have any questions, just please ask me, and I'd be happy to direct and take down your information and give you what you need to be able to support that event. Thank you.
Thank you. And I thank you all again for coming today and just marking this important day with us. We do this every year at 11, the 11th month, the 11th day at the 11th hour. That is very important. It's time to mark Veterans Day. And also, you know, like we said earlier, to keep these thoughts in mind every day of the year as well, not just today. But thank you all for coming. It's great to see so many people here, so many friends and neighbors. So thank you for coming. At this time, will the police cadets please retire the colors? Thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.